the challenge remains to bring the Joseph Coneys, the Haroons, the Bosco Ntagandas to justice. That's the highest priority because that's where the crimes are these days.
So, you were talking about the amendment to bring the crime of aggression into the court that was recently, or at least preliminarily, agreed on at this review conference in Kampala, this special kind of meeting of the Assembly of State Parties.
Right.
And what you're saying is that by the development of this relationship and by the warmth of the interaction that you have now developed with other participants in the ASP, particularly state parties, you created an atmosphere in which it was possible to get an outcome on aggression, which was very close to what you wanted.
I think so. I do keep in mind, I mean, there are people, we sit down and talk to many state parties, there's still disagreements. I mean, the position that we took at base was that because this involved aggression is a crime because it's against the UN Charter. Mm-hmm. The UN Charter provides that the Security Council determines whether aggression has taken place. It's done that in some cases in the last 65 years. But because it involves the UN system, it really needs to be the Security Council determination. And that's an unpopular position in the ASP. It's an unpopular position in the world. The only countries that like the Security Council are the 5 that are on it permanently, and only 2 of them, Britain and France, have votes in the AMICC as ratifying states. And it seems to many countries that this is just something to protect those 5 countries and many countries with which they're allied, even though we see it as something that follows very closely from the Charter. But what happened in Kampala is a couple things. One, they had to deal with the definition of the crime. We were concerned that the definition was rather indefinite. As a prosecutor who was prosecuting people, I thought, what would happen if I were the prosecutor and I had to do this one? Because it was defined as an act of such character, gravity, and scale as it constituted a manifest violation of the UN Charter. It doesn't sound like a jury instruction. I mean, it's what does that mean? And we did get some understandings that made it clear that it had to be of the most serious and dangerous use of force, that it couldn't be just an act of character but not gravity, and scale, gravity but not scale, and character. It had to be a combination of all of those things. So that was important to limit it and to take out sort of border disputes and hot pursuit of terrorist groups, etc. So we thought that was positive. So that happened on the definition front. But then there was two ways that the court could get involved in prosecution for aggression. One, the Security Council. The Security Council approves it, then it applies uniformly to all countries in the world, no opt-out, everybody's in. If, on the other hand, it comes not through the Security Council, and this is what countries that don't like the Security Council wanted, through either the state referring it, it's a victim and wants this case prosecuted, or the prosecutor proceeding on his own. In this situation, there were a number of protections put in. The prosecutor would have to go to the pretrial division, 9 judges instead of 3 to get approval. But then beyond that, it was decided that it would only basically apply to countries that consented to that jurisdiction. There's still some ambiguity on that, but we took very clearly the position that it only applies to countries that ratified, though countries even that have ratified can opt out. And then it doesn't apply to non-parties. And so if the United States stays out, it doesn't apply to our citizens. If the United States joins and doesn't ratify or opts out, then it doesn't apply to our citizens. So it's, now that's how it's written. But even then, it doesn't take effect yet.
No.
It still has to be approved by 30 countries and have a decision after 2017 approved by the same kind of majority that would normally approve an amendment, which is 2/3 of the full membership, and with a general expectation that it needs to be almost consensual, if not consensual. So the issue isn't decided. I mean, we remain concerned that we would find with the possibility of the prosecutions by the prosecutor on state referral, we'll find situations where some countries that have ratified and haven't opted out, who are allies of ours, and something might come up, we'll go to them and say, will you assist us with with defending against the ethnic cleansing in Kosovo? And they'll say no, because we might be prosecuted. So if it takes effect, even though it wouldn't affect us directly, it could have an impact. So these are still issues that are out there, but at least the way it was done in a way that protected our interests, that made the congressional people that we briefed afterwards happy that we had done this, and to some extent deferred the decision to 2017, left open the possibility in 2017 maybe the Security Council approach would be activated, and then later on the other would be considered. We'll have to wait and see. But the issue did get heavy discussion, and in the end, this particular approach was one that was reached because there was an effort to achieve a consensus, at least a situation where no one objected, and very late on Friday in Kampala, 11th or 12th of June,
I remember it well.
Happened. Yes.
Well, that was that result of